right, we're now on to the oral board interview. This is probably the second most missed portion of the hiring process, and this is for any CCJ interview you do, and actually any job you do. I am always amazed at how poor people do on oral board interviews, and it all has to do with preparation. If you prepare, and you see how I'm talking aloud right now, even though I'm just talking to my computer, I'm not teaching a class right now per se in the classroom, it's awkward. But I'm practicing just like I would an oral board interview. And you have to do the same way. If you don't talk aloud, if you don't record yourself and see, oh, am I winking my eye? Am I moving my hands too much? Am I tapping my toes? Am I not making eye contact? If you don't do that and see what's going on with you and you're not used to talking aloud, you can't just practice something in your head or just practice reading something and do well. You're going to get stressed. Stress is going to take over. It is stressful sitting in an alone chair in front of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 people, especially in uniform. That's pretty stressful. It's stressful for me. So if you don't practice, first thing that's going to go out is you're going to forget. And you're going to leave that interview going, I forgot to say this, and I forgot to say that, and why didn't I do that? And if you don't say it, they can't grade you on it. So this is an important chapter to make sure you read, you follow all the recommendations I make, and if you have any questions, you let me know, and you prepare by practicing. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so why is the oral board interview so important? It is so important because it's the main time that the agency gets to really meet the candidate, gets to meet you, and gets to figure out whether or not they like you. Believe me, there were a lot of times that I think we lost a lot of good candidates that would have made great officers. They just didn't prepare for the oral board interview. So what am I supposed to say when I grade them? I don't know you. You didn't take the time to prepare properly. So I'll pass you just because, and because we don't know the difference. We don't know those ones that would do good and those ones that just didn't prepare. So you gotta give us something that we can hang our hats onto, that we can grade you, and we can send you and move you forward. All right. So most jobs, like I said, conduct some type of interview. So you need to really, this is going to help you. I'm assuming everybody's going through getting an education for a future career. And that future career is going to require, whether or not you go in the CCJ field or not, going to require an oral board interview. So this chapter is so important for everybody, I can guarantee you. All right. So at that interview, you're going to have a predetermined location. You're going to enter the room. There's going to be a table. 1 to 5 people are going to be sitting there, and it's going to be stressful. I can definitely tell you that. All right. Panel members. Who are the panel members? Well, there should at least be one panel member on the board that's at least your job or going to be your supervisor of your job. So generally, if it's a law enforcement oral board, you're going to see another officer, 1 or 2. You're going to see a supervisor of that officer, which may be a sergeant or a lieutenant. And then generally, we used to put civilians on our boards too. So we kind of got all different opinions of the person we were interviewing. All right. It's up to the agency how to score the oral board interview. And the most common dimensions that are looked at are the 5 following dimensions. Oral communication skills, so how well you talk. Interpersonal skills, do you relate? Like, do you feel that that person is talking to you? And how would they talk to people on the street if they had their customers? How would they talk to them? Attitude and motivation. Is it on? Is it overboard? Is it too little? What is it? So you've got to show that motivation that you want the job. Do you understand the position? Have you researched the agency? The worst thing you can do is when they ask you, tell us about our agency, and you know nothing. You need to know a lot. And then can you problem solve? Can you take what they give you, take problems that they give you, and work through them? They want to see how your brain works. All right. So why are they so intimidating? Again, like I said, because you have to sit in a room, you're separated. There could be uniform officers. They're recorded, a lot of them. And it can stop your dreams of being a law enforcement officer. So if you get too stressed and you're not prepared, it ends right there. And a lot of departments only test once a year. That's a long time to have to wait to test again. So it's stressful. All right, so I have what I call an 8-step plan for success. All right, here we go. 1, you need to understand the job duties, responsibilities, and qualities of a police officer. I have them all in this textbook, so it's all right here for you. Or whatever job you're testing for. Is it a victim's advocate? Is it a social worker? Is it a detention officer? Is it a lawyer? Is it a cashier at a supermarket? Whatever it is, you need to understand those. Research who you're working for. Make sure you know the makeup, the organizational makeup, who's the top, what do they do, what kind of calls they go on, if they have a social networking site, Facebook, Instagram, go on them, Twitter, follow them, what's going on, okay? You need to have detailed answers prepared ahead of time. I'm going to show you how to prepare a perfect answer to one oral board question or as many as you want. You need to have a lot prepared so you have a whole plethora to pull from when you're sitting down there. You need to practice aloud, like I just told you. You need to practice talking aloud. Dress to impress. You need to wear a suit, and I do talk about this textbook, How to Dress. You need to go through a mock practical oral board, even if it's just videotaping yourself and having other student peers give you their impression, which we're going to do in this class. If you do the face-to-face class, we actually do a real mock oral board, and I wholly recommend it, even though we're doing this in online hybrid class. If you haven't taken the face-to-face class, send me an email if you want to go through the mock practical oral board to see how you do, because the more you go through, the better you do, and I'll put you through it. No big deal. You have to be professional, no professionalism, and you have to have a study plan. All right, so let's go over the 8 steps one by one. So I'm basically going to go through all of these 8 steps one by one. And we're going to go through actually a couple of them, and then we'll go to the next video. So number 1, understand the job duties and responsibilities. There's going to be key words that describe what you have to do in that position. Make sure you know about it and you know what your strengths are that correlate to that. You want to use those keywords. Very important. Next, research the hiring agency. Well, how do you do that? I've given you 4 steps. 1 is review the agency's website, memorize their vision, their mission, their values, their organizational chart. Again, the chief, what departments, divisions do they have? Policies, procedures. CALIA, are they approved by and credited by CALIA? That's accreditation. That's important. Go on a ride along and ask law enforcement. When you're on that ride along, you should be taking notes of the officer you're on a ride along with, asking all these questions. Follow them on social media. Know what current issues they're having at the agency and how they're dealing with them. Finally, Sarah, and we're going to end with this portion, then I'll continue on with this oral board PowerPoint in the next video. But I love to use Sarah. Whenever they ask you a question to problem solve, hey, if they ask you a question, hey, we've been having a lot of problems with bicycles being stolen, what would you do? I use Sarah. It's called, I would scan the area, and this is a known way to solve problems in policing or in the criminal justice field. I'd scan the area and see what my problem is. Where are the bikes being stolen? Who's stealing them? Are they being recovered? Are they being sold for parts? Are they just being ridden? What's going on? Analysis. You want to look at how you are going to analyze the crime that's going on, and you're going to look at it all and take all that data you got when you scanned and analyze it. Response. What are you going to do? You're going to do a bait bike? Are you going to have more patrols in the area? Is it a multi-prong approach? What are you going to do? And then after you do it and you see if what you did worked and you caught the people that were stealing bikes, or you lowered the bike thefts through education, you're going to assess what you did and start over again. All right, we're going to stop here on the 8 steps to success, and we'll see you for the next video.